What up?
What up?
You ready to solo level?
I love solo leveling.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like every year there's like the big new anime everyone's excited about, you know,
Yeah.
because obviously things usually start as manga or comic books first. And, like obviously a few years ago it was like Attack on Titan. It
Right.
was like a big splash. Um, Obviously Demon Slayer. And yeah, this year, I mean, I wasn't aware of the comic book at all.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, solo leveling is like gonna be a thing, and I was like, okay. And we mentioned it a little bit last week,
Mm-hmm.
but we actually watched it.
Yeah.
We're like caught up. We've done, I think there's what, 6 episodes now.
Yeah.
It's like really good.
Really good. So this one, it's the manga is Korean.
It's a Korean comic, but I think it's a Korean web comic book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but it is a Japanese anime
Mm-hmm.
based on a Korean comic book. And it's funny. It's kind of this like, I don't know exactly where it started, but there's this like whole subgenre of like action anime now, like that's based in this sort of like quasi video game world. Like there's like video game rules, right?
Yeah.
Like that one that we watch. I got a cheat skill in another
Mm-hmm.
world. That one has that. And I don't know. I feel like it's been something over the last few years we've seen a lot more of.
Yeah. I mean.
Overlord.
Overlord.
Overlord
Yeah.
had it. My sister's watching like a cooking like dungeon crawl anime that I think also has the exact same premise. I mean, it's not like that's new. Like
Yeah.
that's been going on for a while. But I dig it. You know.
No, this one it's really good. And once again, when you have a main character that's sort of that feels really pure.
Yeah.
That you just want to see them succeed. You want to see like good things happen to them. Like and
you really root
want to
for
see
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this is like such a weird combo, but something about Jin-woo, Jin-woo is what the pronunciation is in the English, so I'm just gonna call him Jin-woo. Jin-woo, like he kind of reminds me of like a weird hybrid of like Eren Yeager and like Deku from My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean?
I think he falls more into the Deku than
Yeah.
than Eren, because Eren would like go into things obnoxiously, like that he was unprepared
He was kind
for.
of full of rage, wasn't
Yeah, and he cares, like he wants to do better, he wants to get higher, but he's also like he's naive about how strong he is.
he? Yeah.
But he also like, it's not like Eren where he's just doing it out of pure anger, and he doesn't go in like, and the way he goes in, he actually takes into account the innocent people around him.
He does.
Which Eren never did.
He does, but I think that there are moments in solo leveling where Jin-woo is like he's dealing with a reality of a really violent or really scary situation, and I think it's a little more realistic and darker than like the way Deku would.
Well, I
or
think
Naruto.
The thing is that I don't think that you're talking about the characters there. I think you're just talking about the world.
No, I'm talking about the characters, because there's moments that I get real Eren Yeager vibes, especially like when he's struggling about how he's not strong enough and how down he gets about how weak he is, and especially in like the first like 2 episodes that are really hardcore. You get that real like early, like pretty much everything up until like the 3rd season of Attack on Titan. Eren Yeager is like constantly beating himself up about not being strong enough to deal with the situation that he's dealing with in like a very negative self-talk way, and I felt like it just kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
I guess, but like I don't feel like Jin-woo is like that. Like it doesn't feel the same to me, because so it's a world where you can only get to a certain rank. Like
yes.
Once you get rated, you're like, he's an E rank. He's the lowest of like the lowest possible rank you can be with any sort of magical ability.
I love in the open credits when they explain and they show like all the S rank, A rank, B rank, D rank, and then just him for E rank.
but it's like, he is the lowest that you can be, and he's upset because that's all he can ever be, and what he's more upset about is just the simple fact that being an E rank and with all he can do, all he can ever get is a tiny bit just to help his family survive. He can never, and that's like, but it's not with Eren, it was this rage and like and this he always had this idea that he should be stronger.
Yeah.
Jin-woo doesn't have that. He like you know, he doesn't have the I should be stronger. It's no, this is what I am. This is all I am. Now, when he starts to level up, you know, then he has more of the idea of like I can get stronger.
Yeah.
But it's not the like I deserve to be stronger. It's not the sort of like that Eren has.
I guess it's really different though too, right? Because Eren, like, the sorrow of not being strong enough came from not being able to protect the people he loved.
Yep.
Where, like, you know, basically, like, Jin-woo is doing this because his family needs the money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, his dad disappeared, his mom has some, like, magical sickness, and his sister needs to go to college.
Yeah.
And so he's, like, the only person that can make money.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny. It reminds me of do you remember that? Remember we watched some K-dramas not too long ago, and there's a Coffee Prince.
Yeah.
And it's like the main girl, like she was kind of like him, like she was like the sole breadwinner of the family. And I love that because you really get a sense of like, you know, how can you not root for a character like that?
I hate that the episodes are only a half hour. Like I want them to be longer because you get so into it.
Yeah.
I also, you know, hate waiting week to week.
Well, that's the problem. We usually wait till something's like a full season through so we can binge it. But I think we were just like, let's just try it. Let's be current and new. But then the pain of waiting week to week is very difficult.
I'm not gonna do it, but I'm also so tempted to start reading the comic.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to because we're gonna watch this together. But
I mean, you can as long as you don't spoil anything.
No, that's the thing though. I don't want to because I want to watch it together. You know, I want us to like experience the episodes together. But my gosh, do I want to?
Well, I wonder who the art is too because it's funny. I only watched Attack on Titan as a series, right? And then I started reading the manga, and it was like, and I'm not throwing shade because it is one of the best anime of all time, but the art of the manga is not great compared to a lot of other manga. Like, his Titans look cool.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other stuff looks like somebody who's just started.
Yeah.
Which is who the mangaka was at the time. So I wonder how Soul Leveling looks, but the animation is like top tier. The animation looks amazing. You know, and I really like this, I just really like... I'm also a fan... It's also part of this whole, like, isekai thing that's been going on for the last few years where your main character essentially, like, dies, kind of, in the first episode or first two episodes and comes back and, you know, is sort of reawakened. And it's such an interesting, like, subgenre of, like... Because we've seen a bunch of these now. Yeah. And it's an interesting subgenre, but I think, like... Man, the second episode of this show is so dark.
It's so dark.
I'm like... You know, it's funny. It's kind of like, kind of reminds me of like Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
You know, like the first like 2-3 episodes of Demon Slayer are just like, gosh, like that's hard, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really into it. Like a lot's already happened in 6 episodes. It's like a ton.
Well, and it's funny because like they bring up certain things. You know, we mentioned it before, but like the dad is missing.
Yeah.
They didn't go into it at all. It was literally like almost a throwaway line.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I keep on thinking about it because I'm like, why is his dad missing? What is the story behind that? Like, was his, you know, was his dad a hunter? Was his dad like, did his dad go missing before or after all of this happened?
Yeah.
You know, and then like,
oh, you mean before like the world opened these gates and stuff like that?
Yeah, or like,
yeah, you're right. We don't really know.
We have no idea what the deal is, who his dad is, any of that stuff, and like, and then there's just the whole fact, you know, of like why he's special. Now we know like he's sort of special because he sort of earned it in that task, you know, like in that. But at the same time, it's like, what, you know, maybe there's more to do with his dad. Maybe like, you know. Because there's a magic to it, but also a science to it, and then all of the game elements that come into it that he sees, but other people don't. Like,
well, he's got that whole like Deku Captain America thing, where like he's the weakest guy, but because of like for whatever reason, usually because of the personality or inner strength or inner drive, they're sort of chosen to get this power. But it's a little more distinct. Like we understand. Steve Rogers. We understand Captain America and Deku, how that happened. We're not exactly sure yet what the whole like deal is in Solo Leveling of like the intent behind him being reawakened, but like at the same time it doesn't matter, and it gives our boy a chance, which is like really all we want.
My point is that there is so many mysteries that are like opened up in this, and it's like and so while the action is great and the base story is great, there's also all of these like questions that I'm so excited to see answered.
Yeah. I agree. You know, I also think what's really cool about it is I feel like that there's all these like video game elements, but I feel like it's simplified enough that even if you've never played like any kind of game, you still kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone sort of at this point understands the concept of leveling up in a video game, and you know, and I think like if you played like a World of Warcraft or a Dota or like League or whatever, I feel like you would like get a maybe another level of like excitement from this whole like dungeon raid thing, but it also like doesn't really matter. You know, and
it also works if you know Dungeons and Dragons or games like that.
Yeah, and those are all obviously all those games are based on Dungeons and Dragons. But I because I don't really play those games, but I know enough about them that I'm like, oh, cool. But I just love that. I love how it's like basically like it doesn't. You could have never played any of those games and like still understand what's going on because it has its own concrete world that makes sense. But it's funny though because when we first watched it reminded me of this anime we watched a few years ago that I don't think anyone watched called Gate. Remember that? And it was about like this crazy gate to another like fantasy world sort of appears in Japan. And it was funny because we were like, oh my god, this is just like Gate. And then the whole like dungeon break thing that happens where like, you know, the creatures come through
spill out into the real world
after a certain amount of time. That reminded me of was it Blood Battlefront Blockade?
Yeah, Blood Blockade Battlefront.
That was it. Yeah. So you know, but it's funny because you know that's what's cool about I think the art of a lot of anime and manga is like, you know, it all gets a little something from something else, you know, like.
Well, I have to say, you know, one of the things that I really like about this one is that it does things that I'm not expecting. It takes turns I'm not, and like even like little turns, you know, like you know the way that he levels up his stats, you know. In my mind, it was like, oh, he's gonna level them all up too high in one area, and then like be in a fight and realize, oh, I should have been leveling up something else, and he's gonna have to do that mid fight. But no, it was like, oh no, he leveled up all that, and he was like, yeah, this is why, and then he used that. It's like,
no, totally.
So it does these things that I'm not expecting in the best way, and it like all makes sense the way he does it.
I agree. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes, and once again, you know, a lot's already happened, and so I'm really, I don't know, I'm just like really into it, and like this whole world, I love it. It has some rules, and they started getting into some really dicey stuff in the last 2 episodes, and I find it so intriguing because it really does feel like the world is more the idea of the world is much more expansive than just the base like hunters going into portals and fighting monsters. Like it's much more complicated, which I'm all for.
I also like that Jin-woo he started off like really perceptive.
Yes, because
like,
he had to.
It's funny though, like it doesn't show up in his stats when we see his stats. Like, I actually would expected his perception stat to be higher. You know, everything started at sort of like a base level, but I expected them to be higher because he seemed to be more perceptive than even the higher rank people when he was like just, you know, before he started being able to level up. Like,
well, did all the stats just start at 0?
I can't
remember.
They all just started
like
at
5,
a base level.
Something,
like. But that's what I'm saying. I was surprised that perception wasn't just higher than the rest because he seemed to, by his nature, just have a higher perception than like even like the you know A or B or whatever rank heroes he was with.
Well, they make it really clear in the pilot that like he's so weak that like the only way he's even survived is through perception, intelligence, and luck, basically. You know, and if there's a healer there and stuff and. Yeah, no, I know. I keep on being like, he doesn't even have to do like intelligence. The guy's already smart. But it's gonna get a lot more complicated.
Level up all your stuff.
You really do, yeah.
Like, and it'll be interesting when he starts leveling up stuff to have magic.
Yeah. It's gonna get really cool. It's gonna get really dicey, and I also love the way that you know, once again, like it kind of melds all these little elements, like. we're started peeking at certain elements of like world building, like One Punch Man. This idea of like these different rank heroes, and only certain ranks do certain things, and the idea of somebody who is a low rank, but like, you know, maybe there's a lot more. And I think that's really exciting, you know, because that's one of the fun things about One Punch Man.
I love that he doesn't really understand what his rank is at this point.
Yeah.
You know, or the rank of the monsters that he's fighting. You know, it's 6 episodes in, but it's one of the greatest things when he's like, oh yeah, that must have been an E level, or that must have been a D level. Like, you know, oh man, you know, he still sees himself like, he's starting to see himself as more than E rank, but not really.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, he'll go in and take him on because he's been working at it, but he doesn't know how strong he is, and it's gonna be really funny when someone goes, that's an A rank monster, and he takes it out. Like, you know.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's gonna be good, and we have no idea when the hell One Punch Man season 3 is coming out, so this will be a nice stopgap.
Seriously.
So Yusuke Murata, who is the the artist for One Punch Man, he's starting his own anime studio.
Right.
And so everybody like thought like when he made this new studio, maybe he's working on like One Punch Man like season 3, and then he had to do like I'm going to say tweet because I don't want to call it X. He did a tweet and he's like, just want to let everyone know it's an original project. So it's like, One Punch Man 3 is still in limbo. Nobody knows when it's going to come out. And I'm like, I need my fix.
It's got to be tough, though. Because the whole, like, you know, he's One Punch Man. He takes things out in one punch. Like, it's tough to then make a really fun story when you know what's going to happen.
I mean, he totally stopped, like, an full-on alien invasion at the end of the first season. So, yeah. No, totally. Yeah, no. I don't know. I don't know. So, you know, it's always funny just chatting about stuff because who knows what new news will come out whenever, but a few days ago there was this kind of announcement about Disney and FORTNITE combining forces, and they showed this little teaser, and it looked like some kind of like expansive world that had like Disney lands along with you know, like a FORTNITE look, and I'm really sort of perplexed and interested in what this is going to be.
Yeah, well, it's like, is it just like sort of a map takeover, or is it another full thing? You know, it's like when they did Fortnite Lego.
Yeah.
You know, like when they put that in, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously they've done the silly little things like of worlds for, like, you know, Dragon Ball Z, or like, you know, and or Naruto, you know, and it's just been like these sort of little tiny side games, you know, that aren't really expansive. But this seems like either a map takeover or a whole other thing. If it's a whole other thing,
it's a whole other thing.
But it's like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what, and it feels like, not that like I would mind, you know, being Snow White and like, you know, and shooting, but that seems weird. That doesn't seem like what they would do.
I feel like so I think the first thing to remember is that like Epic Games that creates Fortnite, they created the Unreal Engine.
Right.
So they own the Unreal Engine. So they're more than just video game developers.
Sure.
They also develop technology. So I wonder if I kind of wonder if it's going to be more like, do you remember when PlayStation tried that like virtual universe a few years ago where you just kind of hang out and do stuff?
It's like PlayStation Home or something.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're gonna build this like Fortnite world that we walk into, and we go to, and you like your character walks to Cars Land, or walks over to, you know, Indiana Jones Temple, and then goes in and like plays certain games in there. You know, and like,
so you go to Cars Land and you play Rocket League.
Yes, exactly. Like it, and also like maybe there's like, I don't know, some kind of like leveling up currency. I think they're trying to create some version of like, I don't know exactly, some version of an open world sandbox game that is like always going, but they can also still sort of like find a way to expand like the Disney brand and the Fortnite brand. That's what I feel like it's trying to do.
It's like they do the concerts and now they're doing comedy shows. Maybe.
Yeah. Trevor Noah is producing a comedy show,
which is interesting. I mean, I enjoy the little concerts that they do. They're fun. I'm interested to see how they sort of gamify a comedy show. Like,
it's gonna be really weird, right?
Because they do it really
hit button to clap,
right?
Hit button to clap.
Yeah.
It's like no one thought your joke was funny. They were just earning XP.
Yeah. Collect stars for laughter.
Like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't know how that's gonna work. Well, it's funny though. Some of the concerts they did, it was funny. Some of them are like really kind of whatever. Like you like run in between rooms and stuff. But I think it was I can't remember. It was either the Kid Laroi one or it was the Bruno Mars one. But one of them had like legit like you were in a city fighting a monster, and that was cool. Because it felt like you were really playing a game as opposed to just like kind of like waffling around. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the way to do it. Because at least that way you feel like you got something out of it. You know, you got a fun experience out of it. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, but like music is like, what's great about video games is it's everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you get the visual content of like a movie or TV show. You get the sound content of a concert. You get the like malleability. You get the playing of like a board game or something with your hands, a sport even. God forbid a sport. And I just think that I don't know. I like when it becomes like more like that. So I know. So that's the thing. I'm sure they'll announce more. But I was thinking it was funny right before they announced it. I was like, how is Fortnite ever going to do this thing where they can compete with Grand Theft Auto Online or like something like a Pal World, like some kind of idea of like you're in a world and you're always building, you're always getting better. I mean, not unlike solo leveling, because Fortnite right now is like it's kind of like that, but it's like separated.
I mean, for one thing, it's free, which is always good, you know.
Always, yeah.
But I mean, they do at least try and keep on doing new things. And again, like with the Lego stuff, that was like it's a whole different way of play. It has nothing to do with your normal Fortnite, fighting each other kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, as long as they keep up the regular Fortnite and keep sort of changing that every season a little bit, like to make it feel fun and new, they're good. But you're right, really keeping it up for like years and years to come. They'll need to incorporate more. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how.
I'll be interested too to see if they kind of gatekeep certain skins, because like you'll notice like some skins you can use in Lego Fortnite, other ones you can't. Like you can use Ninja Turtles, but you can't use like the Terminator, right? They don't have a Lego. So I'm wondering if like you'll be able to buy, say, like Cinderella, but you can only do it in like certain games. You can't do it in like Battle Royale.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there might be like a I don't know, like a Pretty Princess Dance or some other adventure game, like a Mario adventure game or whatever. But like when it comes to like Battle Royale, you can't use that skin. Or maybe they'll do some kind of like weird version of it that isn't like the trademark version.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing for ones like Terminator, things like that, for the Lego stuff, it's like they had the right to like to make these and sell these, but they don't still have that
license it for that.
Like, or they wouldn't. They already licensed it back then. They're not like, it doesn't make sense for them to relicense it. Like just to make a Lego version.
That makes sense. I buy that. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm a little concerned though for my wallet, because I feel like I'm just gonna be buying a whole lot more new skins. Yeah. But we'll see. But yeah, I don't know, what else is going on?
I don't know. Solo leveling is kind of like
where it's at right now, huh? Yeah. Well, we'll keep on watching that, and we got to. I don't know. I don't think we have anything else to watch really.
We have a ton of things to watch, but
it's it's right. Well, yeah, exactly.
Season 2s of whatever, or 3s.
I know. Well, you really want to watch Jujutsu Kaisen season 1 again
before
you watch season 2.
I need a Cliff's Notes version. Like.
Maybe there's a thing.
If somebody made a little like it's like with Demon Slayer, they do the movies.
Yeah.
Like, and that's essentially an entire season condensed into a movie. Like,
yeah.
I need that for season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I need that you
the
know,
finger eating saga.
Right, yeah. But I need a condensed version. Like, I don't remember enough of it, and like to differentiate it from so many of the other things that we've watched.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Fair. Well, I don't know what to do about that because I don't know.
You just watch it on like fast forward.
4 times. I kind of understand this.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, if there's nothing else you want to talk about, we can just sit here in silence.
Yeah.
For like a solid 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just
like
staring contest.
I could like grab my phone and watch some cat videos.
Yeah, I guess we could just end the thing then. Yeah, nothing else?
Nothing else that I can think of.
All right.